Just in a second. Okay, here we are. Good morning. So happy Thursday, everybody. I cannot believe that we are almost through yet another week. It seems like we have no time at all, or time is just, kind of eking by. I guess it's like this ebb and flow of where time is at right now. But thank you for joining us with the 12th episode of At Home with Tanya and Jolene. My name is Tanya Blosser. I am a local resident, almost a native. I was born and raised in Northern Virginia. I'm now actually a real estate agent here in the Northern Virginia market. I am obviously at home. I'm a mom of two, and we are in the 9th week, I think, of quarantine. I think I've lost count at this point. It all just is kind of blending together. But I am joined today by my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm Jolene Moore. So I'm with Main Street Home Loans, so local lender helping people with purchasing and refinancing their home. So we have Lucia Tirondola with us from Manor Works Painting today. So thank you for joining us. So Lucia is a local company. I guess the company's been in business for 20 years and you guys have owned it for 3. But your husband's worked with the company for many years before that. So we thought it'd be great to have you on today to, I think, Tanya, you're talking about if I'm going to go into the questioning, but I'll ask you this question is, are you still working? That's, I think, one of the things we kind of ask people from the beginning is, are you still doing, work? And I think that's something to make sure people are aware of, what they have possibilities of doing right now. So
thank you for asking that question because it is tricky for people to realize who's open,
right?
Who is not open. And yes, we are open. So we are not doing our interior work right now, but we are working outside. Mm-hmm. We're working on painting, staining, our carpentry, replacement of wood, any kind of wood rot that's going on outside. We're here to help you guys because really your home is most of the time your biggest investment, and you really do need to take care of these things. So although we're not working inside, unless a building is empty. So I've also tried to kind of encourage, it's a hard time to do this, but if you are a dentist's office, a doctor's office, someone that's empty at the moment, it is technically the perfect time to paint. You won't have to close down again. Yeah. We wear masks, we wear the boots, we wear gloves, we practice social distancing. What makes us different is our staff is on payroll. So I know all of our 6 crews very closely. And being that they're on our staff and not subcontractors, I call them regularly. I check in, I make sure everybody's feeling healthy. I talk to them about their concerns, going out and working, being essential. Mm-hmm. So we are taking all the precautions that we can, and we are waiting patiently to go inside because I know that people have noticed some things on the inside of their house now as they sit there for days and days.
Yeah,
look at the walls.
I was just talking about that this morning. I'm like, when you're in your house so much, you're like, wait, I need to do this. Right now I see a spot on my wall. Yes, and that's a good point about offices too, because I do go to my office periodically because there's only one person that's coming in to the office. But I've noticed that some of the offices are getting work done during this time. So it is a good time to take advantage of that. So that's a good point.
It's a great time to do that because then you don't have to, have any kind of awkward taking off of areas or, closure.
Right.
But I do understand that it's also economically a tough time. So
yeah, totally.
So how big is your company? How many people do you have working at your company?
We have 6 crews, and each crew has 3 members in them, a foreman and two painters. Okay. So we've grown since last year. We had 5 crews, this year 6, plus the office staff. So yeah, we have a good sized team working for us, and they're all busy right now, and we're very thankful for that.
Oh, that's great. Because I was gonna say, the spring market, I'm assuming that, the spring market for you guys is not unlike, for Jolene and I, where you would be really busy this time of year.
We are, but what's killer is this rain. Mm-hmm. Normally when it rains, we're able to shift and we go inside. So now that it's been raining for well, I'm thankful it's not raining right now, but days, it makes it tricky because we're unable to finish these jobs that normally would take like 2-3 days, have been pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
So we are booked, but it's obviously not a normal year at all.
So how far booked out are you? Because one of the things I've been trying to do is get my deck redone, because I was like, what a great time to do this. It's outdoors, and we've had a hard time getting someone here that then follows up and actually gives us a quote.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like, are they that busy, that they are not able to get back to us? So so I'm just curious how you guys are doing then with quotes and like the activity on that end.
Well, I know the estimator personally because it's my husband. And he's doing great. And my mother-in-law is the office manager, so she's booking all the appointments.
Yeah.
So we are making sure that within a week someone is out there, and he's great with following up. You'll have your estimate by the end of the day. I imagine that other crews and other companies are either so busy because people are all coming up with the same idea,
right,
or the opposite. They're running on like a skeleton crew because of kind of what's going on. If you're not on payroll, you haven't been able to get any kind of help. And there's also childcare issues, which I've heard as well.
True. Yeah.
That's
a good point.
But we would definitely get back to you.
Yeah. Well, this was like replacing, which I don't think you guys do, like the Trex flooring and stuff like that.
No, we don't replace Trex, but we can replace like some wooden boards.
Okay.
And we do stain.
Okay.
But I could probably get you some names of people that would respond to you.
Okay.
So I wanted to, so one of the things, Lucia, if we can just I wanted to mention to everybody, we're starting to do little giveaways during our shows.
Yeah.
So if as people join us to watch today, please let us know, leave us a comment, let us know that you're there. Everyone that does so today, we're going to enter in to win a $25 DoorDash gift card and a $25 gift card to Virtue Feed and Grain, which is in Old Town Alexandria. So I'm just going to mention it a couple times during our broadcast today, but we'd love to know as people are joining in and watching us to hear from you. And if you have any questions for Lucia and painting and general, please, put those in the comments as well. I'll try to catch them and we'll address them here live. Lucia, one of the things that I find a lot when I'm working with like buyers and sellers and stuff is that they don't understand the importance of painting. And, especially as it protects the exterior of your home, which I think that's a little bit more easier to understand, but the interior of your home. I mean, the idea that if you buy a new home, for instance, a builder coat of paint is not doing a really good job to protect your walls and the drywall tape from cracking and all that kind of stuff. But I would love to hear your opinion on that, because I think people just kind of leave that to the last thing, especially on the interior side, unless they just get tired of seeing the color on the walls, which, I understand too, but.
It's true. There's a huge value in quality paint. And one of the things that happens and also the finish of the paint. So a lot of times when builders come in, they will spray, which leaves a lot of overspray and sometimes doesn't cover perfectly. And they'll use a flat paint. So flat actually, flat cheap paint, if you touch it, if you breathe on it, if you just move your bag over it, it's going to leave a mark. And you cannot wash that. So if you're looking into Benjamin Moore or Sherwin-Williams and you have a matte finish, which looks like a flat, it is actually protecting the walls. It's washable. It's great for high traffic areas. Another thing that I find when people think of paint, and even when you walk into a new build, you've seen these beautiful model homes and you're like, oh, I can't wait to move into my house. And then you move into your house and it's wonderful.
It's white.
It's a white box.
Yeah.
The ceiling is the same color as the wall, and you're losing a lot of that awesome detail, say that from the trim. And so I would always encourage people to not only find the perfect finish, whether it be matte or eggshell, semi-gloss, but also to not forget their ceilings and their trim. So a lot of times people, to save money, they'll paint the walls and then they'll leave their ceiling, and not thinking that their ceiling was painted like a weird off-white, and it's McCormick.
Yeah.
But white matters. There's like a million different whites. So if you find
Yes.
white that matches perfectly with your paint color, it's going to brighten up your room. Your ceilings are going to look taller. Again, everything's wipeable. You just don't know when something's going to splash on the ceiling. So those are the things that, like, quality paint can be wiped off. And it's something that, you know, if you have kids and dogs and things like that, it can last you like a good 4 or 5 years if you're doing it the right way.
Right.
So
I mean, I can't. Oh, sorry.
go
Go ahead, John. No, I was just one quick comment. I mean, you were mentioning ceilings. So I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many times that I'll walk through a home with a new buyer and you'll see the tape from drywall,
Yeah.
kind of coming through on paint. And, a buyer will say, oh my gosh, what's going on? There must be a leak going on up there. There must be some water event. What's happening? And frankly, it's just because they haven't repainted their ceilings, and they just need to in order to kind of keep the drywall and the tape from cracking like that over time. And it's just, it's just simple little things like that. When you go to sell your home, it's never been like a deal killer for me, but it's just something to think about.
Well, it's funny you say that, because down in my basement, I was working out, I looked up, and you can see the tape on my ceiling. So I'm like, I need to, sorry, my little one is coming in during this time.
And that is the difference between,
but yeah, so what do you do in that situation? Do you have to change the tape, or do you just paint over it and it will seal it back, or how does that work?
Well, that's a difference between really a lot of times comparing apples to apples when you're looking at an estimate or a painter. There's so much preparation that goes in to really make a good paint job. So you have to spackle. There's nail pops. You have to fix those.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of spackling. There's a lot of sanding and preparing, so that when you get your awesome color on the wall, you're not seeing the tape. You're not seeing the builders and a lot of different people that are preparing. They're moving quickly, and so sometimes we even found in our home there was, like, on the drywall there was too much water used, so like it was really sloppy on the edges. And so if when I painted my room a dark gray for the first time, I went a little crazy. But darker colors show more. So in order to get it right, we had to do a lot of preparation to make sure that color really just looked nice and smooth on the wall.
Yeah. And so you recommend matte finish then, if you're for most rooms then?
That's my favorite because it's wipeable. Some people love eggshell, which has a little bit of shine to it. But we normally recommend eggshell in a bathroom because that's needed. But my favorite is matte.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Is there a type of paint that you guys only use, or do you do you work with your clients in terms of what they want?
Well, we always recommend and we warranty Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore.
Yes, I love Sherwin-Williams. That's my favorite.
Great. We have for interior, I really love the colors of Benjamin Moore, but both of them quality-wise are the top of the line. And we have a store that we use out in Ashburn, Evolution Paint. It's a Benjamin Moore rep. We've become friendly with them. So the nice thing about having one store is, like, you can build a relationship with that owner. We also have a rep in Sherwin-Williams that we've built a relationship with, so you can get your samples put on the wall, which is also very important.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I walk around with a Sherwin-Williams color wheel, frankly. I mean, it's like,
I've got Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore that I have.
Yeah, I should get the Benjamin Moore one.
We painted our house probably, 4 or 5 years ago, and we painted it gray, like you're saying. Yeah. And what we found was grays look different in every room based on the coloring or the lighting. And
lighting.
And so we picked out this gray, we painted it, put it in the kitchen, and it looked like a baby blue. And I was like, no. So then the same thing, it looked different in the hallway. So we ended up getting and we were doing Sherwin-Williams, but we did so many samples that for Mother's Day one year, my kids and I took this canvas and painted with all the different samples. And we have a ton of different grays on this canvas. And I had it hanging up for years, just to show that this is how much it took for us to figure out the right grays in each room. I had no idea that it'd be so challenging.
Gray is popular, but it's not easy because there's so many undertones. There's purple,
Yes,
blue.
like it was either purple or blue
There's black.
or like, yes, it was like
Green.
brown, you know, it was like, what is happening? So yeah, I have a sheet now because I have so many different colors in each room because we had to do it to make it actually look great. It was like crazy.
But it's true that people don't realize also that we offer a color consultation. And what's so important about that is
that's important.
And we send in interior designers because I find that they need to kind of observe the space and kind of see like where the windows are at, where the lighting's coming from, because you know what your main pieces of furniture that aren't leaving, because that all like kind of pulls into the walls. And now especially with these open concept spaces, it is so tricky to find the perfect color because like you said, I have a color, it's like a bluish gray that when you walk in, it looks fairly blue. And then when you walk into the next space, which is like the living area, it looks gray. And then when you move into the kitchen, which has more windows, it's more of like almost like a grayish green, which I actually like that. It looks like I painted a bunch of different colors, but it's just but it's something to take into account. Yeah.
It's crazy. I had no idea until we actually just put it on the wall. And then I was like, oh my God. Because when I bought my home 15 years ago, we painted a lot of different colors. We didn't do just one. So we were trying to do like a mustard color in the kitchen. It ended up yellow, like a bright yellow. And I'm like, I am not doing this again. I'm not living another 15, 10 years the wrong color.
Color.
Crazy.
So are you guys finding that people are doing gray was like, and grayish, and like we're talking about is was the color it seems like for years. Are you finding that people are starting to differ their palette? Are they doing accent walls or going back to more primary colors?
Gray is still very popular, but people are becoming more brave and they are doing accent walls, or like Hail Navy is a navy blue that's super popular. Grays that have like not so much neutral grays, but something with a little bit more of a color behind it. Even something with undertones of green have become popular again, which that went away, like the sage color. I think Joanna Gaines has been bringing back a lot of those
earthy tones and stuff.
Yeah. Benjamin Moore's color of the year is a pink.
Really?
Which,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a baby pink, which is a contrast from last year.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, when you say it's their color the year meaning what people are using or what they're kind of promoting as their color of their year?
Both Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore and most paint companies, they pick a color of the year. And it's very interesting. I went to a Benjamin Moore event, and they said that they study and send people like all over the world to kind of see like it's not just about color. It's like mood, what's going on in the world, and then they come up with a color. And so this year, it almost does not fit what's going on.
They chose too early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They chose too early in the year.
Yeah.
Do you guys do like cabinet painting and stuff too when you're on the interior, or are you primarily walls and I know we talked about design, which we should talk about too.
We're primarily walls, we actually stepped away from doing cabinets because we won't just do, if someone calls us and say, can you come in for cabinets? We won't just do cabinets because honestly, there's people now and there's businesses where that's their sole focus. And so we've left that to this people with specialty. But if we're in a home and there's cabinetry and we're already doing work, yes, we will.
Okay. Got it. And so we were also talking about the trim work that you guys are doing when you are in the interior of, when you resume your interior painting and jobs and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that, because that I'm fascinated by.
Yeah, that has become very popular. And mainly a lot of model homes have really put that on display.
Yeah.
So we'll do anything from coffered ceilings to trim work to, any trim work on the ceiling, shadow boxes, full accent walls, which has become very popular, and woodworking on like the wainscoting that goes like halfway up. All of that's kind of, it's funny that went away and it's all coming back.
What about
Yes.
beams on the ceiling? Like any type of beams on the ceiling?
We have not done that yet, but
Okay.
we have done coffered ceilings, so that's very similar. You know,
Yeah, that's why we have these vaulted ceilings in our bedroom, and my husband wants to put beams on it. So it's
yeah,
something
that's
we've considered.
popular again too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know we were mentioning before we went live, Jolene, that I was in a couple model homes out in Loudoun County, and the trim work that is in some of these model homes are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I just love them as like accent pieces in a room. And I was like, I've got pictures of them on my phone. Because one day I want to do them in my house too.
Yeah.
Another thing that we found in model homes and that we've done again is actually doing striping with paint.
Yes.
So taping off and because wallpapers come back, this is another measure of, instead of putting up that wallpaper, you can sit and design with one of our foremen. They're talented. They're really creative. And so they can custom make something for you. Sometimes it's just a simple, like half of the wall or like a diagonal where we've done it where like one side's black, the other side's like a cream. In my son's room, we have like these really fun stripes that are going like asymmetrical throughout the wall. So, and that's like a navy and a gray. So these are fun ways to mix up a wall. And if you ever want to get rid of it, you just paint over it. There's no stripping, you know?
Right. I mean, when we moved into the house that we're in now, I'm actually in the dining room, and I converted it into my office, and it has chair rail, which you can see behind me, wherever it's at. And then it had like, they had trim box work underneath that chair rail. So we got the trim work off, the boxes, but we didn't want to take the chair rail off because, someone actually might use that. So I just painted over it because I didn't want to really, do all the repair work from, getting it off the drywall. So that's what we did, is we just painted over it. And to your point, you can really, if you don't particularly like it, you can just paint over it, and you like the design and the texture in the wall, but it just kind of softens the trim or whatever else you got going on.
Yeah, that's another popular thing that I've noticed is before, anytime you put any kind of trim work on, you'd feel like the need to make it white or beige. A lot of times what people are doing for these offices or bedrooms is they'll do this woodwork, and it's like the same color, like say Hail Navy or like a gray, and it's all one color. And it doesn't even have like, sometimes people do like a hint of like a semi-gloss on the actual trim. It's just all flat one color, and it looks great. It's like a subtle way of adding a design to your wall. Right,
exactly. So I was on your Facebook page, and I noticed that you had posted a couple DIY ideas or stuff. Is that one of the ways that you guys are pivoting in your business, with what's going on right now and everyone's staying at home? Are you putting more DIY stuff out there for your clients?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I am. I know that people are inclined to do their own projects. And so there are some fun things that are just quick ways to refresh. Really, painting is I know it's expensive, but of all the things you could do, it is one of the cheapest. So a fun way is adding a color to a door. And I found that on the inside of doors, it adds a lot of personality to an entryway. And that's something that a homeowner can do on a nice day on the weekend.
Yes.
And really, it makes you smile when you walk past it. It's silly, but it works.
Yeah.
Something that you can handle.
It's so funny. I was just thinking about that. Like, I want to paint the inside of our front door just to give our little foyer another look without having to redo. We have a 2-story foyer, and so painting it is not fun. But it'll just kind of brighten it up a little bit. So are you guys into like painting? I know I've been in houses where the doors to like closets and rooms and stuff and the trim around them are painted now too. Are you seeing a lot of that?
Yes. I'm seeing more of that when a client is working with an interior designer. because it is a little more risky. So when you have an interior designer who's helping you and guiding you on, I've seen turquoise and I've seen and it looks great. It really looks amazing. So I need to ask that interior designer if I can get some of those photos, but the color, if you would see the palette before, I mean, it all looked nice, but you're like, wow, what's that going to look like? I think it was like turquoise and there was like some hot pink in there. It looked amazing. But it's something that I know that for just somebody picking it out from a palette, they might need the help of a designer who's going to say tried and true, or let's put on some samples. And those are the people who are doing those kinds of accents around, with their trim.
Doors and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It does take a little bit of guts, if you will. It is risky. I mean, I was in a house, late last year where the doors and the trim were black, and it was,
that's what I've seen too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it gives it a pop, but like you said, I think you could also get tired of it. So it's I don't know. I think that, like you're saying, the risk, but I do think it does give a little pop to it and makes it, more unique.
And you could change it, if you don't like it, or
it's paint.
You live with it for 1 year, the next year you could do something else. That's the great thing about paint.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Oh my goodness. This has been really great. Jolene, any more questions that you can think of?
I think I'm good. We can ask our binging. Is there anything, Lucia, that we haven't touched on that you wanted to bring up?
I just thought of one thing that we will tell people, and I know that the color consultants ask is, are you planning on moving in like 1 to 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
And if they say like, oh, maybe, then we would say to them, just advise, maybe you don't make that, black, or maybe you don't make that bright red, because that is something that when you do repaint it, it will be a red paint takes, you have to put a primer in order to get it back to a neutral. There's more coats of paint that are required.
Mm-hmm.
And so think about if you're going to move in 1 to 2 years, maybe you don't go all out on that, turquoise room. But if you're there for the next 5 years or 6 years and you want to try something cool and new, do it. And then
go for it.
In 2-3 years, you do something new. Really, it changes everything. It really does.
Yeah.
That's why I wore my pop of color today to encourage.
That's good. I got my boring navy here.
I know, me too.
It's my favorite.
Do you know, we had a stager on a couple shows ago, and they were saying the same thing, which is, your color for 10 years versus your color if you're only going to be here for a couple years and you're going to plan to sell. So, keep it more neutral if you're only going to be living in the house, and build, keep it neutral if you're going to be living in the house, a couple of years and you're going to sell it, and then use color in other ways in your furniture, your fabrics, or something like that.
Well, maybe your doors. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Your realtor will thank you if you do that.
That's right. I won't come through with my grayish palette and say, listen, you're going to have to do agreeable gray, which is my favorite, like Sherwin-Williams color.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yes. Yeah. It's my favorite. All right. So at the end of all of our shows, we do like a fun facts, right? Which is all about binging, since we're all in this moment of, stay at home and we're binging either something or other. So the first question we normally watch, is there a show or a podcast or a movie that you're binging, a lot since you've been home for almost 2 months?
Let's see. Really, it has to be something that my kids are like watching. So we've been watching like 72 Most Dangerous Animals from like every continent.
Oh my goodness! I bet there's some probably frightening ones that are coming up.
Yeah, the more frightening, the better for us. Apparently.
Do you have boys?
I have 2 boys. Yeah. So that, and we've been watching as a family. We've been watching Flash. We did like Lord of the Rings. The whole. We did The Hobbit, so.
Yep, we did that too.
That's good.
We've gone down the hole of Netflix.
Yes.
I know Netflix has got to be killing it right now. So what about any kind of binge eating foods? Any, doesn't have to be sweets, just anything you're loving right now that you can't have enough of?
Well, I've been trying to cook as many healthy meals as possible to keep our immune systems up. But like,
Yeah.
I must say that I have gone downhill with Keebler Elf cookies. I don't know why, but they're right here.
Right next to you.
That was like a high school thing that I loved. And now, like, you know, the kids are like, can I have a cookie? I'm like, no, because it's empty.
Yeah.
So that's one that's like,
Oh,
That's
you
funny.
know, I have to go grocery shopping, and they just went to the top of my list. I have not had a Keebler Elf cookie in a long
Yep.
time.
Mhm.
double
Oh,
stuffed.
that sounds
They're really
delish.
good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So the last question that we've been asking folks is, do you have like a favorite pastime that you've been doing? You know, puzzling, or I don't know, you know, something that kind of is like, oh, I just want to get to this at the end of my day for a little mindless brain relief, if you will.
I would say it's bike riding. So I traded in my I traded in my 10 speed
Yeah.
for like a mountain bike. So I've
Nice.
got my helmet on with my kids and we just go for rides.
That's
So
great.
that's the best.
Awesome. That is a good idea. How old are your children?
10 and 8.
Yeah.
So that's good. So they can ride.
Well, my
Yes.
10-year-old actually taught my 8-year-old how to ride his bike
Nice.
during the very beginning of quarantine, and that was a game changer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Awesome.
He's difficult
That is
to
awesome.
teach, so we kind of like stepped away from it. And then one day I look outside and he was teaching him how to ride. So
That's
it's awesome.
good.
Wow. That
goes
gives
to the
me
top of
hope.
my list of memories from quarantine.
You know, that gives me hope because I have a 6-year-old who refuses to ride a bike. I had something to do with that because I kind of scared her one time when we were riding. But yeah, I mean, I bribed her. I'm like, what, you want to go to Target? Do you want to buy, you know, I'll buy you a toy. Like, what do you want? Just get on a bike so we can go on family bike rides. So I'm going to hold out hope then.
Yeah, he learned 7 right before his 8th birthday. And it was one of those things we tried a couple times. I probably scared him. I let go. He went into a tree. But now he's good. And he's like, you know, I mean, I can't tell you how many times he's fallen, though, because, of course, we take him on these trails that no 8-year-old really should be on. But because he's got to keep up with everybody else. As soon as he learned, he's, you know,
awesome.
He's out with us. So that's my favorite thing.
That's good.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
thank you for having me. Thanks for having me, letting me highlight my business and talk to you guys. It's great.
Of course. Of course. It is really important, I think, for all of us in the small business world and just in general, just to kind of highlight what we're doing, especially since, you know, we are still working, we're doing it safely, and we're finding creative ways in order to, you know, continue to reach out to our clients.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And you guys have a great day.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you again soon. Bye-bye.